From big stories to big games, snowstorms to stunning sunsets, dogs, cats, and kids. Thanks to you, we see it all. Hi, I'm Chris Velardi, and this is the Reported Recap 2012. In the next 30 minutes, we'll look back at the past 12 months through your eyes, featuring your photos and your videos. We like to say using the Reported feature makes you a valuable member of the News 8 team, and we see it and we appreciate it, especially when news breaks. The idea is a simple one. If you see something, report it. Clearly, it borrows from what's become a pretty familiar mantra over the past decade, and it's caught on. From fires to crashes, labor rallies to peace marches, your photos and videos helped us tell Connecticut stories in 2012. The year's first big story came late at night on the year's first day. An historic church in Somers went up in flames, and Emily, Alenia, and Matt sent us photos. Later in the month, there was a fire at a garage used by an auto club in Plantsville. Eric shot some pretty good video, and Jason snapped a picture. A different Jason got this video as flames engulfed a house in New Haven in March, and he was not the only one there to report it. Far from it. We got picture after picture of the flames and the firefighters trying to put them out. We got even more video and dozens of pictures when a factory in Waterbury caught fire in April. You can't get much closer than this shot. We got it from an off-duty firefighter. In May, the 180-year-old home of Bevan Bells in East Hampton went up in flames. The photos we got that night helped us tell the story of Belltown's loss.
There is apparently a fire by Beaverbrook Road near Mondo Pond.
Jenny was right. There was a fire in Milford in April, a brush fire, and a pretty big one at that. You gave us lots of looks at the smoke and the flames, and a few of those looks came from people riding Metro North. Imagine seeing this right outside your window. You were also there to report it when you saw a crash, and over the last year you showed us crashes of all kinds. Rollovers, cars, and trucks that went off the road. Your photos often let us know when and where traffic was tied up, and you let us know why. And it seemed a News 8 viewer was always nearby when a car or truck wound up in a place it shouldn't be. On a sidewalk, into a house, a restaurant, or a convenience store, into an airplane hangar or a BJ's warehouse store, and whenever a truck got stuck under a bridge, which happened more often than you may expect. We've come to expect some strong storms around here from time to time, and this past year was no exception. There were plenty of cases of wild weather becoming the big story, but we'll spend some more time on that a little later in the show. Of course, not all news is breaking news. Consider Election Day. It was a big one this year. We covered the results, but you helped provide a different perspective on the day, from your first-hand account waiting in some pretty long lines to where you put those I voted stickers they hand out. If the Noel family in Seymour hadn't sent us this video in July, we may not have known about the vandals who ripped up a handful of swimming pools in town. When News 8 told their story, the Namco Pool Company saw it and within days fixed the family's pool for free. The next time the Noel sent us a video, it featured a couple of kids playing in the water, having a little summer fun. And it showed just how much the family appreciated what had been done. No one appreciated what was happening with the price of gas for a good part of last year. As it went up and up and up, you sent us photo after photo after photo. Connecticut AT&T workers wanted to make sure we were aware of their efforts to get a new contract. They wore red and rallied and made sure to report it. 2012 is the year Occupy became a noun, describing a movement, not just an action. You sent us photos from many of those protests. People marched in the streets of East Haven to protest police and the town's mayor. And there were walks in New Haven calling for justice for Trayvon. Wherever and whenever people were gathering, fires were burning, or storms were hitting, wherever and whenever news was happening, we appreciate the fact that you were often there to report it. News 8's Reported feature does shine when there's breaking news, and it's a powerful way to let us know what's happening, to tell us about the stories that matter to you. But it's evolved into something even more powerful than just a news gathering tool. It's become a means of coming together by allowing us to share big moments, moments to celebrate, moments that make us smile, and sometimes moments that make us sad. And the latter has rarely been more evident than it's been over the last few weeks. After the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown on a sunny Friday in mid-December, you filled the Reported inbox with photos of candles and crowds and signs of support. And you didn't stop. The pictures just kept coming. They came from across Connecticut, from tiny flames flickering on doorsteps to more than 24 crosses on the lawn, ribbons, hearts, and names on a Christmas tree, balloons tied to a railing in West Haven. And the pictures came from across the country, from that little boy and his snowman in Minnesota, and from the man wearing a handmade t-shirt in Texas. Green and white Sandy Hook Elementary School's colors have taken on new meaning, and they're showing up everywhere. You showed us how basketball players, cheerleaders, even soldiers in Afghanistan have formed circles to send strength to Newtown. Athletes marked their shoes, their helmets, and their hockey sticks. Teenagers found an outlet to express their feelings in art. Meanwhile, we saw total strangers gathering, coming together on town greens across Connecticut. For many of us, the sadness will fade in time, but you have made it clear. The lives lost on that horrible day will never be forgotten. We'll take a break now and come back with a look at pictures and video from the category that always stretches the reported inbox to its limits.
Just like 15 or 20 minutes ago, it was sunny out, and now it's all rainy.
We all know the deal. Things around here can change quickly when it comes to the weather. And when that happens, you're ready with your cameras or your phones or whatever it is you use to shoot video and pictures. In fact, when the snow starts falling or a big storm hits, we could fill an entire newscast just with the images that start pouring into the reported inbox. The wind whipped, the waves crashed, and in late October, another massive storm slammed into the Connecticut shoreline. Sandy was a hurricane, a superstorm. In fact, because she was hitting so close to Halloween, some even called her Frankenstorm. But she was no joke, and so many people around Connecticut will tell you that.
It's going! Oh my God! Oh my God! I want to get a video!
Trees were down, falling on buildings and cars, roads and power lines. As a result, the power was out for some for more than a week. Between the trees that came down and the floodwaters that rose up, damage was significant. Houses were destroyed, roads were torn up, and the rebuilding and recovery would be a monumental undertaking, especially with stores unable to keep supplies on the shelves. Fortunately, we got help. FEMA rolled in, and so did utility crews from Florida, Ohio, Alabama, and beyond. The strength of Sandy almost makes you forget the storms we saw during the spring and summer, so consider this a reminder. The thunder made Diana jump in late July during one of a number of powerful storms that rolled through the state. Most of them followed the same script. The sky would darken as the clouds begin to roll in. That's also when the reported inbox would start collecting your pictures. Then the wind would pick up, the rain would start to fall, and the lightning would flash. And somehow, some of you were able to find a way to freeze that fraction of a second. They may have followed the same script, but not all storms were the same. Some were literally louder than others. Christine shot this video one Wednesday in late March. But that was one of many times we saw hail hammer Connecticut. And every time it did, we saw handfuls and handfuls and handfuls and handfuls and handfuls of hail. There are many more, but you get the idea. It's the kind of weather our old friend Dr. Mel would have loved. A lot of you mentioned that this year. And after he passed away in January, many of you sent us shots sharing the story of how you met him. It's no secret Mel loved snow. And although we didn't get a lot of it in 2012, when we did, you made a point to report it.
Well, everything's pretty much white.
That's Adam's front yard in Guilford. This is Rick's deck in Griswold. Decks seem to be a favorite setting to show off the snow, maybe because you can get video or a picture without leaving the warmth of your house. Just open the slider and snap a shot. Though we've got to give credit to those of you who snowsuit up and grab your rulers and get us a measurement. Some of you respond to snow like this, but wintry weather also brings out the kid in a lot of us, or at the very least, it brings out the kids. Who doesn't love seeing the little ones all bundled up, building snowmen and snow forts, shoveling, sledding, and playing? And who doesn't love rainbows? When they appear in the sky, your pictures fill up the inbox. Rainbows, partial rainbows, double rainbows, we see it all. We're still waiting to see a shot of the pot of gold at the end, but we appreciate the photo that Rob sent us back in June. Also in June, we saw what's called the Venus Transit as that planet moved between the Earth and the Moon. Several of you sent shots of that rare event. We also got a bunch of frame-filling shots of the so-called supermoon in May. This one from Bill in Hartford gives us some perspective, and we love this one from Lou. Moon photos are nice, but spectacular sunrises and sunsets are a reported staple. We know we can count on you to share the vibrant oranges, pinks, and purples that occasionally accompany the beginnings and ends of our days in Connecticut. A few of you, hello Hilka and Fairfield County, send spectacular shots almost every week. Keep them coming because the photos are breathtaking, capturing that brief moment of beauty forever.
And speaking of the weather, this year for the second year in a row, the weather seemed to have it out for Halloween. In 2011, you'll remember it was that powerful autumn nor'easter that dumped a ton of snow on the state just a few days before the kids were going to go trick-or-treating. Well, in 2012, it was Superstorm Sandy. As you showed us, though, many kids didn't let the storm keep them from dressing up and collecting some candy.
Despite decorations like the ones outside this house in Hamden, Halloween was without a doubt a little different this year. Sure, we got plenty of pictures of people picking pumpkins. Lots of shots of kids in cute costumes and dogs that had been dressed up. But Sandy's poor timing meant instead of going door to door for candy, a lot of kids went car to car in hastily organized trunk or treat events across the state. Christmas came right on time, and as they do every year, some people went all out. You showed us how you decked the halls both outside and inside, and you shared your Christmas trees with us. You sent us a slew of Santa sightings, with Tiny Tot Tyler on a sleigh with Mrs. Claus, even at a spa a few weeks before Christmas. And of course, we saw cute kids and festive pets. In the summer, it seems there are fireworks just about every weekend, and that explains all the pictures we got. Some are good, some are great, some are downright beautiful. I'm talking to you, Scott in Stratford, and you, Glenn in Milford, and come on, Bill in New London, this is just wow. That's what many of you said about the chorus of colors that filled the air over Plainville in late August for that town's annual Hot Air Balloon Festival. Your photos took us there from setup to touchdown and included all the high-flying beauty in between. It's the community events like this, and Thunder in the Valley in Moodus, the Brantford Festival, Op Sale on the Thames, countless touch-a-trucks, and dozens of local fairs. It's events like this that make up the fabric of this great state. And, of course, there are hundreds of charity events each year across Connecticut. Events like Don's Hat Rack Ride for childhood cancer. The food banks Fill the Bowl just before Thanksgiving. Bike MS and Walk MS for the Multiple Sclerosis Society. The bowling and mud volleyball events to fight epilepsy. And Cheshire's Lights of Hope. Back to the holidays now, and the one holiday which resulted in the most emails into the reported inbox. Believe it or not, that's Memorial Day. So many of you sent us pictures and videos showing off your patriotic pride. The red, white, and blue was on full display in all kinds of ways. We saw the flag, or some variation of it, quite literally, from face to foot. Many of you also made a point to show us you and your children and grandchildren understand the true meaning of the day, recognizing the ultimate sacrifice so many men and women made to preserve our freedom.
Coming up on the Reported Recap 2012, pit bulls and bobcats and bears. Oh my, the animals that got our attention in 2012. Let's face it, we love taking pictures of our kids and grandkids, our nieces and nephews, and if you want proof of that, just check your Facebook feed. What's fun is that you share many of those photos with us, and that's why each week so many kids make their TV debuts in the Reported Recap.
Kids grow up so fast, don't they? That's why pictures like these are so important, capturing those fleeting moments forever. Take, for example, the first day of school. In 2012, so many of you shared your photos from that morning. In them, we saw kids ready to tackle the challenge of a new school year. We saw their excitement, we saw their confidence, and we saw their smiles. Well, most of them were smiling. Prom? Yeah, we got pictures from that too. Friends getting dressed up for a memorable night. And when the school year came to an end, you used Report It to share the pride and joy of graduation. Of course, when the school year ends, the pictures don't stop. You showed us little ones making the most of the lazy days of summer, sitting in the sand, playing in the pool, blowing bubbles. In fact, every season is represented in your reported pics: the snow of winter, the rain of spring, and the leaves of fall. It seems every sport is represented too. We put a call out for your sports photos in 2012, and you came through in a big way. You sent us action shots from the soccer pitch, the football field, and the baseball and softball diamonds. And you sent us shots of go-kart racers, kayakers, polo players, and karate kids. You shared your kids' successes, told us about so many tournament-winning teams that called Connecticut home in 2013. The best in baseball, champion cheerleaders, tops in Pop Warner. From Special Olympians like Corey to Olympians that were special like gymnast Michaela Maroney. She may not have been impressed, but we were. So was her family here in Connecticut. Stanley Cup champ John Quick of the LA Kings grew up here in Connecticut, and we were rooting for him. But we were split when it came to who to support in the Super Bowl. In some houses, even sisters and brothers didn't see eye to eye on that. That's not to say we didn't see any brotherly love. Keep your eye on the boy with the orange sleeves. In the midst of an indoor soccer game, he comes over and kisses his little brother on the head. Brothers and sisters, and cousins and friends, parents and grandparents, people spending time together. It's a common theme in your reported pictures.
It's a logical transition to go from pictures of children to pictures of animals. After all, many of you treat your pets like they're your kids. We get plenty of shots of those animals you warmly welcome into your homes. Of course, we also get some shots of animals who showed up uninvited.
Look at you.
They're big, they're brave, and they were visiting your backyard. Time after time in 2012, bears wandered out of the woods and came a little too close for comfort in Connecticut.
Oh my God, he's pulling your thing down.
Bears weren't the only wild animals that you spotted up close and personal. We got a bunch of shots of bobcats, some comfortable in their element, others, like the one Ada saw in Wallingford in a parking lot, seeming a little lost. We also saw dozens of shots of deer, sometimes standing alone or maybe trying to play peekaboo, some traveling in pairs, others gathering in pretty large groups. We saw tons of turkey, too. You sent a lot of great shots. Take a look at what John noticed in his snowy backyard in Prospect. You can't even count them. And how about the picture Maureen got from her deck in Wallingford? There were birds of all kinds, big birds and baby birds and beautiful hummingbirds, a gaggle of geese and several swan. We love Karen's shot from East Lyme and this shot of a hawk from Lou. You saw osprey and owls. We even got some great shots of the majestic bald eagle. In May, a few pit bull attacks made headlines, and pit bull owners responded in a big way. The reported inbox filled up with photos from people defending the breed. Many of the shots featuring your dogs and your children. Dangerous? Those of you who love pit bulls certainly don't think so.
Oh, that's my good girl Daisy, huh?
Of course, pets of all kind are the things we see most frequently in the pictures and videos of animals that you send us. Dogs and cats and even the occasional guinea pig. They're all part of the family. And that shows in the hundreds of pictures we get each and every month. Dogs and cats just hanging out, maybe playing, sometimes dressed up, sometimes in the car, even trying out the latest technology. In fact, we got so many shots of animals, well, sometimes we thought maybe it was the cats and dogs going online to report it themselves.
Have you ever seen a dog in a log? How about a smiling tomato? You will if you stay where you are. You have no doubt heard the saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. We believe that. It's why the photos and videos we get in the reported inbox do such a good job of helping us tell the stories that are happening around Connecticut. Of course, sometimes those pictures make us pause for a minute and say, what?
In the summer of 2012, horses invaded the city of Stamford. The colorful sculptures were part of an appropriately named public art display called Horsin' Around. We love the bookend-themed horse in front of the library. Hilka sent us some pictures. Those horses reminded us of the one celebrating their 100th anniversary at the Carousel in New Haven's Lighthouse Point Park. Deborah got some shots there, while these are from Barbara at the Carousel Museum in Bristol, which reopened after some renovations. The thing is, you never know what you may find. A green guy by the water, or Gil gassing up. A stormtrooper, a blimp, or a bear carved in wood. You might spot a dog in a log or a smiley face in a traffic signal. Maybe you'll see a face in a tree or flip-flops tacked to some branches. Perhaps you'll even be nearby when a balloon lands in a backyard or when a duck tries to race a jet ski. We've gotten pretty used to seeing your shots of food. That's quite a harvest Atticus helped collect, and quite a squash Frank grew in his East Haven garden. Someone sent us this shot of breakfast without any explanation. Same with these shots of lobster. Just trying to make us hungry, I guess. Sometimes the food itself is a bit unusual. Hazel noticed a heart in a watermelon. Kelly and Noel found heart-shaped potatoes, while Joe in Stonington shared the love in his heart-shaped hard-boiled egg. Wayne's eggs had us seeing double, and Walt Disney couldn't produce a better hidden Mickey than the one on this strawberry from Jones Family Farm. When one of the space shuttles got a piggyback ride to New York City, several of you went to see it, and Bill, Bruce, and Ralph sent us photos.
Hi, I'm Deanna. And I'm Maya. And today we wanted to show you guys News 8, because we love you guys, what we made on our Wii. So ready? We love you, News 8!
Thanks, girls. We appreciate that, just like we appreciate Kevin's Kids retro logo snowman and the folks who brought News 8 to the beach, and everything you send us to report it all year long.
Well, that will do it for the Reported Recap 2012. As always, we appreciate you taking the time to send us your pictures, your videos, and your story suggestions. Keep them coming in the new year, and thanks for being a part of the News 8 team. We'll leave you now with a few more of the memorable images from last year. And here's to a happy and healthy 2013.